Well, good morning, and welcome to another A-Word presentation, which is an outreach ministry of Northeast Philadelphia Community Church. I'm here with Reverend David Owens, and my name is the Reverend Kevin Lockett. We are pastors here at Northeast Philadelphia Community Church. Before we get started today, I want to recognize the event of 9/11. Today we celebrate 15 years of that horrific event. And we want to say our prayers and our heart and our love go out to all of the victims, the first responders, other people who were working in those towers, and all who were affected by that event. We hope that there will never ever in the history of our United States of America be a horrific event like that again, taking lives. But we all know that love covers a multitude of sins, and we can draw together and march forward. We have been in the past few weeks talking to you about spiritual warfare, and we have learned a great deal. And so today, when we come thinking about what is the bottom line of it all. Yes, we are in spiritual warfare, but what is the bottom line? What is it that you and I have to do? What is it that we have to do to be effective as believers in Jesus Christ? Well, one is to live holy, and the other is to be faithful to what God has called us to. Now, both of those things God has called us to. He's called us to be holy. He says, be holy as I am holy. And we've talked about that a number of times in past presentations and past sermons, which you can go online and check out. But the other thing he says is, be faithful to what I have called you to. And one of the things I like to put out there is that where there is a church, there are always persons who don't know what God has called them to. Well, the Bible is very clear in Ephesians 4, and it talks about the leaders of the church that God has provided, the pastor, the teacher, the evangelist, the apostle, for the perfecting of the saints for the work of the ministry. And the leaders are the ones who lead. They're the ones who point out what must be done. They make the plans as the rest of the body, the members of the church, carry out the plans or do what God has called us to do. And I always say that this is where the real struggle, the real spiritual warfare goes to. Because there's also a passage that talks about how the enemy, right, comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but God sent his son to bring us life and life more abundantly. But it also says, unless we first bind the strong man, we can't go and take what is his. And we all know that we're either a child of God or a child of Satan. And so as we go forth in faith and victory to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, we wrestle and we fight spiritually. We have that spiritual conflict because we, the believers, are going to the children of Satan and bringing them back to where they belong and where God intended for them to be. And this is a big warfare. It's a warfare that will never cease until Jesus returns. And so, my brothers and my sisters, I say to you, number one, do you know exactly what it is that God has called you to do? Get busy and find out. You have to participate in your local church body because God is a God of order. And he set up and allowed and brought into being different local churches like Northeast Philadelphia Community Church and many different churches where you can exercise the gifts that God has placed in you for the warfare that we fight, for the mission that we want to accomplish. My brothers and my sisters, it is ever so important. If you ever want to fulfill purpose, if you ever want to be fulfilled, you must do this. You must go forward and find out what it is that God called you to be and how you can plug that into the church where you belong. My brothers and my sisters, you really need today to hear the whole sermon. I'll be laying out some principles and some things. But Pastor Owens is going to come and he's going to share some things with you. It's good to be back from vacation. I thank God I was able to go. But before I leave you today, I just want to say to you, push forward, find out what God wants you to do, and do it with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your soul. God bless you and have a great week.
We want to thank Pastor Lockett for that word. Oh, it was tremendous. Tremendous. I can't wait to hear the rest of it that he'll be giving in the sermon today. later on that you yourself can go to our website, hit the sermons tab, hit the blog with this tab, go to the sermons button, hit that, and you can hear the message in its entirety along with other messages that have been preached. Wow, I just can't wait to hear it. I hope these these words have been a blessing to you. If you're in this Northeast Philadelphia community, we hope that you come here to find out what God wants you to do in your life. Either way, there's going to be a signpost at the end, or you can go to our website, nepcchurch.com, and find out about us. Other than that, God bless you. Have a great week.